Hi guys, so it's just one of those days today. I'm at home, not really doing much, so I've decided to record a tag for you. So I went on YouTube and just had a look through the different tags that are available, and obviously there are a lot on YouTube, but I decided to do the Perfect Imperfections tag today because I feel like this tag really lets us all see that nobody is perfect and everyone has something that they don't like about themselves despite how we view others. And sometimes you look at people and you think they're so perfect, there's absolutely nothing wrong with them. But it's interesting to see what individuals notice about themselves and what bugs each individual. So I thought I'd record this tag for you. So yeah, here I go. Okay, so the first imperfection is one that I really try not to draw too much attention to here on YouTube, because I know that the YouTube audience can be, quite cruel and harsh, because there are always people out there who will have something negative to say, whether it concerns them or not. And it has to do with my skin. So if you look at my face, and you probably will have seen in previous videos where, maybe I'm doing a get ready with me and I'm doing some makeup or something that has a close-up of me, my skin, especially at the top area here, and I'll zoom in and just show you. Okay, so if you look at this top area here, you'll see these little bumps, and I've got some down my nose and then a few under my eyes. Now these spots came about when I first came to Australia. When we came here back in the late 80s, I guess my skin reacted to the change of climate, and I don't know, the heat or whatever it was, but these spots came on my face literally out of nowhere, and I've had them ever since. Like literally for the last 20-something years I've had these spots. I've seen skin specialists, I've seen dermatologists. No one has really been able to ever pinpoint and tell me exactly what it is. All I know that, it's not cancerous, it's not deadly, it's not anything that's going to affect my life in any kind of way, except that it's just not aesthetically pleasing. Back in the early days when I got it diagnosed, one doctor said it was sweat spots. So I guess as a result of the sweat or whatever, these spots came about. Some other doctors gave me some other names for it. I can't remember the professional names, but yeah, it's just something that I've got to deal with. And you know what, in the beginning it really bothered me, because I thought my face was so ugly because of these spots, and I would do everything that I could to try and cover it up, wearing makeup and that kind of stuff. But as time has gone on and I've gotten older, it's something that I've just accepted. It is a part of who I am. I can't change it. Most recently, like last year, I went to see another skin specialist just to give it one last shot, and she once again diagnosed it with a long name that I can't remember. But basically she said I could go in for treatments where, it would be that electronic thing where, they're messing with your skin with machines and that kind of thing. She said it would be like 5 procedures that would be like $250 to $300 per procedure. But what really told me that it wasn't something that I wanted to do is she said that I could get hyperpigmentation as a result of the treatment. And you know what, I love my skin too much to be messing with it in that way. Apart from these spots that are up there, I think the rest of my face is pretty good. From here down I really like. I don't have any problems with it, and you know what, I decided I'm not going to mess with it. It is a part of who I am, and I've just got to learn to accept it, and I have accepted it, and I'm absolutely fine with it. You know what, some days it's more noticeable than others, but that's just how it goes. I'll wear makeup if I want to, and I won't wear makeup if I don't want to. It doesn't bother me that much. I have had a few nasty comments here on YouTube where people will come in and just leave comments that aren't nice and try and tell me what my diagnosis is and what I should be doing to get rid of it, and I shouldn't be on camera and shouldn't be so up close because of these spots. And you know what, I just delete, block and keep it moving, because I don't have time to entertain anyone who's going to bring any kind of negativity in my life. I've accepted it, so if you have a problem with it, it really isn't my problem. And that's how I see it. But you know what? I really envy those people who have beautiful, flawless skin and can just wake up in the morning and their face is flawless just after washing it. And you know, when they do their makeup, they start with a beautiful, flawless canvas to begin with, and if they don't want to wear makeup, they don't have to, and they still look stunning. But you know what, that's just how it goes. As a female, we always look at others, and there's always stuff that we wish that we had that somebody else has. So that would be my first imperfection, and probably the one that is probably at the forefront of my mind the most often, just because I can see it on a daily basis. Okay, so my second imperfection is one that once again I realize and notice on a daily basis, and that's the fact that I am not gifted in the height area. I'm quite short. I'm 5'3". My ideal height growing up was 5'5". I always wanted to be 5'5", and I always wished that I could just get the 2 extra inches to be 5'5", and then I would be absolutely fine. And you know what, with that one, it's not that big a deal because I love wearing heels and I wear heels, and that definitely gives me my height. But sometimes I wish when, you know, I was just standing on my own 2 feet that I had a little bit of height to me, because you know what, during the week when I'm not, you know, going to church or doing other things, I'm in flats because I love being comfortable. I don't like subjecting myself to unnecessary pain where heels are concerned. Although I love wearing heels, I'll only wear them when I really need to wear them for an event or an occasion or something like that. Other than that, I'm wearing my flats, my sandals, and like I said, when I'm wearing those kinds of shoes, I wish that I had a little bit more height. But once again, you accept it, you embrace it, it's who you are, and you keep it moving. Oh, and just a quick story to go with that whole height thing. I remember when I was back in uni, back then I hadn't accepted my height, so any chance I got, I was wearing heels. And yes, I would wear heels to uni because yeah, I felt better when I had them on. And then there was one day where I finished school late and I was coming back home through the city, and I was walking, you know, strutting my stuff, and one of the straps on my heels broke. And it was the most awkward thing trying to walk through the middle of the mall to my bus stop, you know, dragging that particular foot where the shoe had broken, still trying to look like I had it together, but just looking like a complete fool, and also thinking that everybody was looking at me. And from that day onward, I never wore heels again, because I said to myself, I do not have time to be dealing with this. Why am I doing this to myself? For what? Because of my own insecurities? Let me just wear my flats and just get on with this. So yeah, that was a huge lesson learnt in that moment. And then the last imperfection, you know, pertains to, you know, my body. Every girl, every woman has something they don't like about their body. For me, I personally wish I had a flatter tummy. In my high school years, I was really into exercising, and you know, I was the one doing 500 crunches every morning and evening to keep everything tight and that kind of thing. As I got older, I got a little bit lazier, and you know, I kind of slipped. I kind of go through these waves where I exercise a lot, then I kind of don't exercise for a while. But you know, as a woman, as you grow older, your body changes, and you know, certain things that looked a certain way when you were in high school no longer look that way. And you know, sometimes I would do the mental thing where I'm like, oh my goodness, I'm so fat and I hate my body. But it's just a matter of embracing the things that are changing about your body and working with it and making it a positive thing for yourself. So yeah, I wish my tummy was a lot flatter, but I know it will never be as flat as it used to be. So for me now, like, what I do is it's all about creating an illusion. So if you look at my outfit of the day videos, I wear clothes that are very specific to how I want to present my body. You know, I want my waist to look smaller. I want my hips to, you know, look as nice as they can. I want my stomach to appear flatter. So I wear certain cuts and shapes, you know, that create the illusion that I have, you know, the perfect proportion. But that's obviously not the case because my body is not perfect. And also with me, I've, you know, really embraced the fact that not every style that is on trend is going to work for my body. And I really bear that in mind when I'm buying clothes. There's a lot of styles, you know, a lot of trends that look amazing on certain people, but like I said, for me personally, I know it won't work, so I don't even try and go there because I'm not going to make a fool out of myself. I always want to present myself in the best way possible for me, so when people look at me, you know, they won't have anything negative to say in terms of how I present myself. And you know what, other areas that, you know, if I could tweak a little, I would as well. I've always had quite defined arms growing up, and if you look at a lot of my videos where I'm sleeveless, you will see when I lift my arms up that I've got, you know, quite a definition there. Yeah, I've always had that. I always wish that I had, you know, really nice, lean, kind of slender arms, and instead of these chunky bits that were on my arm. But as I got older, you know, I started working out as well, and I did work on my biceps and that sort of thing, so, you know, it made it a little bit more noticeable. But yeah, sometimes I wish that, you know, my arms were, you know, slender, because when you wear certain things, it's really nice when I just think it looks really elegant when the arms are really nice and, yeah, kind of smooth without the definition and the chisel of biceps. And then another thing, I've got really chubby knees, and it makes it hard to wear certain lengths of skirts and dresses, because if it's cut off at a certain place, it really, you know, draws the attention to my knees. So yeah, I've got chubby knees, and also I don't have really slim, you know, slender ankles, so I always steer clear or try and not wear shoes that cut me off at the ankle, because I think it makes it just look really chunky and stocky. And all of this just ties into the fact that I'm a thick, curvy girl, which leads to the things that I do like about myself. I love that, you know, I have curves, I have shape. When I put on an outfit, it looks a certain way because of the way my body is shaped. I cannot even begin to imagine what it's like to not have hips, to not have, you know, a butt, you know, to have a not have a, you know, smaller waist that leads into the hips, that kind of thing. And it's interesting because growing up here in Australia, going through my high school years, boys used to actually call me fat. And this body shape that I've had since I was young, since I was very young, and it's always been something that I've been known for. So yeah, boys used to say that, you know, I was fat because I didn't fit into the stereotype of what they thought a beautiful or an appealing body looked like. And then obviously growing up in a Ghanaian home, having a Ghanaian mother, Ghanaian father, I've learnt to accept that this is who I am. And you know what? As much as those boys said that, in my head, I knew that that wasn't true. I knew that this is the way that African women, this is the way that Ghanaian women are designed, are created. This is how God made us. And back then I used to remember my mom saying that, don't worry about them, they're only teasing you and making fun of you because secretly they like you. So yeah, you know, going through that time, I did struggle with some body issues because you know, I looked at myself and I was like, man, if only this was different, or if only this was smaller. And then when you go shopping and you can't find clothes that, you know, fit you and complement your body because they don't make the clothes to fit girls who have body shapes like yours, you know, you do struggle with that. But in the back of my mind still, I knew that there was nothing wrong with me and that this was just how I was. So once I left high school and went into university, that's when I really started to embrace myself, because then I had people seeing me for the way that I saw myself, because their views weren't limited on what, you know, the ideal body shape was or what beauty was, you know. So that's when I really started, you know, getting into my own. And then when I went to Ghana for the first time in 2007, that's when I really got it, because I was like, okay, I belong to a whole group, a whole country of people who look just like me. The females have body shapes just like me. So what I'm dealing with over here in Australia, that's not how it really is. I belong to something that's so much bigger than just myself here. So yeah, I really embraced my body. And even when I went back to Ghana the last few times, I look at myself and I'm like, wow, I'm really small in comparison to some of these other girls, because when I say the girls have body, they have serious body. Like, it's just crazy. I feel like I'm so small, I'm so petite, and I'm like, wow, what can I do to get, you know, my curves more poppin'? So yeah, it's just really interesting, you know, how life is and where you came from to where you are now and the things you've accepted along the way. And it's funny because my man says to me, somebody wishes that they had even a quarter of what you possess. So yeah, that's what it all comes down to. The second thing I like about myself would have to be my smile. I've always been one to smile growing up. I have it in my head that you don't know whose life you're going to change by simply smiling. So I really make it a point to smile, and yeah, I like my smile. I'm quite cheeky, you know, I have a lot of cheek when I smile, but yeah, I like the fact that I have a smile that is hopefully warm and inviting to others. And then the last thing I like about myself is not a physical thing. It's more of a gift. I'm so blessed that God has given me the gift of musical ability. Music does something to me. When I hear music, it does something to my heart, it does something to my mind, it does something to my spirit. So I can't imagine not having this gift of music, and you know, the fact that I can play the piano, the fact that, you know, I can sing, I can, you know, teach music, which is what I do. I'm a music teacher. I like that when I get with my family, we can get together and we can sing and make beautiful harmony. So yeah, I'm so thankful for the gift of music that God has given me. And the last thing is, I like the fact that I'm patient. I'm an extremely patient person, and that I'm generous. I'm generous with my time. I'm generous with the things that I have. You know, I feel like there's no reason not to be, because God has blessed me and my family with so much in so many ways, and why would I not want to, you know, give someone else a little bit of the something that I have? So yeah, I like that I'm a generous person by nature, and that I'm patient. My man always says that I have time for people, and I do, because I feel like growing up, maybe people or friends around me didn't necessarily always have the time for me when I really needed them. So I think it's really important for me to be that person to other people that I didn't, you know, exactly get. Also, being a teacher, you got to be extremely patient, because you're dealing with kids, and kids will teach you patience. That's one thing for sure. And obviously for me, all of that ties into the fact that I'm a Christian, and I'm not going to be the one who necessarily comes at you and, you know, bashes you with the Bible and quotes the Bible from beginning to end. But I feel for me, how I can impact people as a Christian is by the way that I live my life and by the way that I interact with, you know, other people. Just at church this last weekend, I heard this quote by the pastor that just really hit me, and it's so true. He said that you are the only Bible that somebody will ever read. And those words just really stuck with me, and that's kind of how I like to live my life. I want people to look at me and not have to question whether I'm a Christian or not, but by my actions they can automatically see that. So I'm gonna leave that, you know, thought with you guys, and I hope you enjoyed this tag. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.